מת עמך חולה, בוא הביתה בן חביב, בוא הביתה בן חביב, נחכה לך בלי הרף מן הבוקר ועד הערב, בוא הביתה לאביב, בוא הביתה בן חביב, בוא הביתה, בוא הביתה, בוא בן חביב. על נייר פשוט, אפור כאפר, הולך מכתב אל הגולה, כותב חלוץ בדמעת עין, שנטר פג בירושלים. סלחי לי אמי החולה, לא אזוז מפולד, לא אזוז מפולד, אם עוד אהוב תאהביני, בואי הנה וחבקיני, ולא אהיה נוונד, לא אזוז מפולד, לא אזוז, לא אזוז,
رجعين يا هوى رجعين يا زهرة البساتين رجعين يا هوى على نار الهوى على نار الهوى رجعين رجعين يا هوى رجعين يا زهرة المساكين رجعين يا هوى على نار الهوى على نار الهوى رجعين ونودع زمان بنروح لزمان نسانا على بر النسيان بنودع زمان بنروح لزمان نسانا على بر النسيان بنقول رايحين بنكون راجعين على نار الحب ومش عارفين بنقول رايحين بنكون راجعين على نار الحب ومش عارفين راجعين يا هوى على نار الهوى على نار الهوى راجعين مغرور يا هوى مغرور يا حبيبي يا وردي على صوت مغرور يا هوى مغرور يا حبيبي يا وردي على صوت نحنا العاشقين عاشقين عاشقين على نار الحب ومش عارفين نحنا العاشقين عاشقين عاشقين على نار الحب ومش عارفين راجعين يا هوى على نار الهوى على نار الهوى راجعين Thank you so much. Shukran. Thank you.
ואולי Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Page 34, Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman, of Harachaman, Meshochav Eretz Sonach, Eretz Sonach. Yedid Nefesh av Harachaman, av Harachaman, Meshochav Eretz Sonach, Eretz Sonach. Yarutz avdach kemo ayal ishtachaveh el mul adarach. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, av harachaman, Meshochav Eretz Sonach, Eretz Sonach.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's nice to just linger in the music for a minute. I first of all want to say hello, and I'm so happy to be here with everybody. And I'm a little bit sad because as you can see, we were supposed to have Ze'evi here with us today, and unfortunately Ze'evi is not feeling well. So we send Ze'evi all of our refuah shlema vibes. Wish they were here, but I'm sure that we will have the opportunity to have Sam and Ze'evi on the bima together again, and certainly missing them this evening. And I also want to say that it's a special Shabbat in another way because it's Shabbat Zachor, which is one of the special Shabbatot that lead up, sort of starts before Purim and lead up to Pesach. Last week was Shabbat Shekel, next week will be Shabbat Parah. They all have these special names, but this one is Shabbat Zachor, which means the Shabbat of remembrance. But it's a bit of a weird misnomer in some ways because the thing that we're supposed to remember, the commandment of remembrance, is that we are supposed to Zachor et Amalek. We are supposed to remember to blot out the name of Amalek. How could we? What does it mean to remember to blot something out, to remember to erase something? It's like just by recalling the commandment, we're doing the opposite, we're unerasing. So it's, in general, it's a strange, a strange commandment, and yet nonetheless it's a commandment. Nonetheless, it is what this Shabbat is about. And I'm specifically bringing it up because I feel as though it's particularly potent, this Shabbat, this coming from this week, where many folks may have seen the sort of horrific, disgusting image in Huara in the West Bank, where there was the village of Huara was burning, set aflame by Israeli right-wing settlers in retaliation for violence that was committed by that community. But then they set it aflame, causing horrible, horrific destruction, and immediately after that, davened Mariv in the street. Yeah, a really sickening, upsetting image. And I bring it up because there's a way in which I am sure that that community felt as though they were carrying out this commandment of blotting out Amalek. Because Amalek stands for the evil, has come to stand for, be the avatar of evil in the world against the Jews. Amalek, we'll read in this week's Parsha on Shabbat about how Amalek attacked the Jews from behind, and then leading into Purim, Haman is the descendant of Amalek, so you can see how Amalek has become this sort of avatar for evil in the world. And I want to bring in words of teaching by Rav Yitzchak Hutner, who is a prominent American Orthodox rabbi, actually, who died in 1980, who said that the essential commandment, actually, of this Shabbat, the essential commandment of remembering, of Zachor, is that we have to remember how close we are to that level of evil, of the evil of Amalek, how easy it could be for us to become like them, to become like that, and that the commandment is really about remembering to choose to be different. Remembering to choose, purposefully, actively choose, to not go toward that thing that makes us alike, and choose to be different, and choose to be agents of peace. So that's where I want to bring us in this Shabbat. Let's bring us into this Shabbat as being agents of peace. And another way that we can do that is, another way that we can become not calcified in our beliefs is by welcoming newness. So I'd love to welcome anybody who is new here today. See how I did that so seamlessly, right? Really great, yeah. So if anybody is here for the first time, I welcome you to just raise your hand, and you can stand up and just introduce yourself, say where you're from. Yeah, right in the middle, right in the front here.
I'm David, and I'm visiting from Brooklyn.
So David from Brooklyn, far away, yes, great.
And invited by Adam, wonderfully, and I'm a member of First Unitarian Congregation in Brooklyn.
Wonderful, member of First Unitarian Congregation in Brooklyn. We're so happy to have you. Thanks for being here. Anyone else here for the first time? Rabbi Kleinbaum says some people call it the First Junitarian from Brooklyn. Yeah, really great to have you here. Thank you. Anyone else here for first time or first time in a long time? Yeah, go ahead. Matthew for the first time. Where are you coming from, Matthew? Also Brooklyn. We appreciate that you took the train ride. Thank you. Anyone in the balcony who I'm missing? Somebody over there. Sorry, thank you.
Hi, I'm Bill. I get the traveling prize. I'm from Long Island.
Bill, all the way from Long Island. Thank you, Bill. Happy to have you here. Okay, and my mom and my sister are coming, and I was really hoping to call them out, but they're late. So when they come, everybody can point and laugh at them, but they are on their way. So welcome to everybody near and far on Zoom who's here for the first time or who is here not for the first time. And for the candle lighting this Shabbat, I'd like to call up anyone whose birthday is in March. Oh, good, Stephen, excellent. Anyone else whose birthday's in March, please come up and light the candle. Oh, good, great, a lot, oh. And we're on page 38.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Shabbat Shalom.
And let's welcome Shabbat by welcoming the angels. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in Shalom Aleichem, page 40. Shabbat Shalom. Let's sing page 52. page 66. Sorry, page 62. Please rise in body or spirit.
Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai be'adrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai be'adar, kol Adonai shover arazim, vayishaber Adonai et arzeh halevanon, vayarkiden kemo egel Levanon Sirion, Levanon Sirion, kemo venerabim, kol Adonai chotze lahavot esh, kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai cholel ayalot, vayechesov keyarot, ubehechalo kulo merkavod, Adonai lamabul yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech me'olam, Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom, Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom.
You may be seated. As we move to L'Chadodi on page 66, L'Chadodi is a story of feeling lost, of feeling hopeless, of rebuilding, of coming to a place in your life for the writers of L'Chadodi, for the early Kabbalists, trying to make something new after knowing complete destruction. And I think the reason that it has resonated for so long, for so many years, is because this is a trueness to all of us. We have all in our lives been at a place of needing to rebuild after complete destruction. Whether you're young and you are just starting out in the world and you know that you will face setbacks and roadblocks as you go through the painful growth of discovering who you are, as it turns out that doesn't actually end. It turns out that growing is a little bit painful, and it means that we need to rebuild amidst what can sometimes feel like total destruction. And I was reminded, last week we heard so powerfully and so beautifully from the teens on their report from being in the South on the civil rights trip in Alabama and Atlanta. And I was reminded of this quote that appears on the wall at the lynching memorial, which is one of the many very powerful memorials we visited over the course of the trip together. And I wanted to bring it in here because I think that its essential quality speaks to what it feels like to look into the face of despair, but know that you can't go to total destruction and total despair. You need to take whatever is there and also reach deep and figure out how to rebuild. So I'm just going to read it here for all of us. And this is, it starts in the middle here, but it says, we build with hope because hopelessness is the enemy of justice. With courage because peace requires bravery. With persistence because justice is a constant struggle. With faith because we shall overcome. So let's let the music of Lecha Dodi build us towards whatever it is, whatever strength we need to overcome. Page 66.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor haberacha merosh mikedem lesucha sof ma'aseh v'machshavat techila lecha dodi לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה מתוך ההפכה רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה תוכחי ומתהמי וחסו עניי עמי ונבנתה עיר אצילה לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת לקבלה והיו למשיסה שוסייך ורחקו כל מבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך תמסוס לב באהבה לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרצי ואת אדוני תעריצי על ידי שפן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת שכינה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני על סגולות בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת נקבלה ינאי נאי ינאי נאי ינאי נאי נאי ינאי לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה יללה 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 פני שבת
Whew. You may be seated. Whew. Got that feeling of joy way up here now. It's a good way to keep going into Shabbat. That's what we need. Tov lehodot ladonai. It is so good to give thanks. It is so good to give thanks in the evening, and it is so good to give thanks in the morning. I read something this week on the internet, so take this with a grain of salt, okay? On the internet. I don't even have a good source for it, but it said that the two things that you need to do in order to make sure that you're putting a little bit more happiness into your life every single day, just a little bit more. First is to get light every morning, to go outside and somehow get a little bit of light every morning. The second is to be with the ones you love, to be with the people who care about you. The truth is we cannot always do number two. We can't always make sure that we're with all the people that we love and care about all the time. But I liked that number one is just about going outside and giving yourself a little bit more light. Just one little small thing that you can do. And Tov Lehodot Ladonai, the psalm for Shabbat, it talks also about giving thanks in the morning. So let's give a little bit of thanks for whatever is that small thing that brings just a little bit of light into your morning, into your day. And also give thanks that we're here together, that we're among people who love and care about each other. Page 72.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת.
Page 78, please rise in body or in spirit.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
You may be seated, and please read with me below the line on page 81, a reflection by community member Liz Galst. The stars in the sky can be difficult to discern from the urban sidewalk. The dusk is an elusive guest. So what can we moderns, we city dwellers, make of the Ma'ariv Aravim? Perhaps the prayer functions not just to glorify creation, as our ancestors presumably intended, but like the rosy, clouded sunset over the ink-blue Hudson, like the moon rising fast and large over the Queen's skyline, the Ma'ariv Aravim comes not just to sanctify creation, but to remind us simply that it is there. Page 80.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. אמן.
86.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אמן שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Continuing individually for the second two paragraphs.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Page 94.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 98. God, tonight we ask that you be with all those who are on the side of peace, who are seeking peaceful solutions. Particularly, our minds turn to the situation in Israel and in Palestine, where there's so much violence going on in Huara, in all parts of Israel. We ask for your help as the God of peace to be with all those who are seeking justice, who are looking to help. We ask for you to be with all those who are looking for a place purely to call home, for safety, for security. Please be with them. Please be with all who are agents of your peace. We ask for this help, Adonai, God of peace. Spreads your canopy of peace over all of your people Israel, over the whole entire world, and over Jerusalem.
Amen.
Please rise in body or spirit for Vishamru on page 102.
Israel et Hashem ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
We turn in a minute to the silent Amida, the silent prayer that allows us a little bit of personal space in the midst of our communal prayer. But I just want to say one word, which is that the best part of Shabbat, in my opinion, is that we get to leave what we've been ruminating on behind, that we get to purposefully choose to come into this place of community and be a little bit together. Even if we're all still in our head a little bit, we get to push it to the side for just this moment. So as we enter into the Amida, try your very best to make that space for yourself, but don't go too much back into that place where you were ruminating before. Be here in this moment and be part of this community and let our prayers join together as a collective. We're on page 104 for the Chetzi Kaddish, and then we'll move to page 106 through 116 for the silent Amida.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועלמא דברי כליותי והמליך מלכותי בחייכון וביום נכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל מנחתה ושירתה
If you're still davening, I invite you to continue at your own pace. We'll continue on page 116 with Shalom Rav, which is the prayer for peace that we say every evening. In the evening times, it always is the prayer that closes our Amida. And this particular setting was arranged by our very own music director, Joyce Rosenzweig, and David Berger. And it was particularly written for a time of anxiety, a time where we're wishing for peace, but we know that we're in the uncertain times. So however that lands for you this evening, we're on page 116.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam Ki Ata Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam V'tov Be'einecha Levarech et Amcha Yisrael Bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai Hamevarech et amo Yisrael. Shalom.
Sheberach imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel, Bilha v'Zilpa, ve'avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak ve'Yaakov, hu yivarech ve'rapeh et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel, Bilha, and Zilpa, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, bless us too. Bless and heal all those who are ill. We hold in our healing prayers this evening Doug Bowder, Ron Cohen, Allison Gardner, Deborah Given, Lester Gribbetts, Kenneth Carpel, Howard Leader, Marie Licata, Sue Rosansky, Yona Zeppa, Paulo Sanseverino, Mark Silverman, Elliot Strick, Eliezer Ben Sara, Mordechai Ben Nachman, Vibela Rivka, and Sunny Milch. And I pause to let anybody who is on Zoom or here in person say names that they are also thinking of this evening. May they be blessed with a full and complete healing, a healing of spirit and a healing of body, together with all those who are ill among the Jewish people and among the world. May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, family, and community. And let us say, Amen. Amen. Okay, so I was going to have us all read the prayer for our country together, but because my mom was late, I thought I would invite her up to, and Bill, I'm sorry, but Bill from Long Island, my mom did come all the way from Boston, so, I otherwise would honor you, but I'd love to invite my mom up to read the prayer for our country. It's on page 6 of your program. I can do it with you.
I don't have my glasses. Didn't expect this, but thank you. Okay, it's
Here,
very
you want to do
small.
here? Do it on this one. Okay.
Our God and God of our ancestors, bless this country and all who dwell within it. Help us to experience the blessings of our lives and circumstances, to be vigilant, compassionate, and brave. Strengthen us when we are afraid. Help us to channel our anger so that it motivates us to action. Help us to feel our fear so that we do not become numb. Help us to be generous with others so that we raise each other up. Help us to be humble in our fear, knowing that as vulnerable as we feel, there are those at greater risk, and that is our holy work to stand with them. Help us to taste the sweetness of liberty, to not take for granted the freedoms won in generations past or in recent days, to heal and nourish our democracy, that it may be like a tree planted by the water whose roots reach down to the stream. It need not fear drought when it comes. Its leaves are always green.
And let us say,
Amen.
thanks, Yuma.
What a pleasure.
She did pretty good, right?
Yes.
Page 138.
יתגדל ויתקדש שם רבה ועמד דברי כנותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וימי חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ועד לעלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן תתקבל צלותינו ועוד הון דכל ישראל קודם ובהון דבשמיא ואמרו אמן יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום ממרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
And now it's my pleasure to invite up Cooperberg-Rittmaster Rabbinical Intern Adam Graubart to give us some words of Torah. Thanks, Adam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Wow. Thank you, Joyce, for leading us in a service filled with music. I missed you last week, and I'm really glad you're here. And Cantor Rosen and Rabbi Werber, thank you for carrying the light of our tradition and bringing us into this container of Shabbat and showing us the way, brightening the way to a place of strength, a place of peace, and a place of restoration. I'm really grateful for your leadership this Shabbos. All right, let's have a ball. Tonight's category is Priestly Eleganza. In the middle of the meat bar, barely free from slavery, one tribe of an ancient people, the House of Levi, dresses like royalty. In front of thousands of spectators, the priests walk in fine linens of exquisite colors, blue, crimson, purple, and gold. They're adorned with convex turbans and embroidered sashes. They look stunning. In comes Aaron with a breastplate containing an array of 12 stones, including emerald, sapphire, amethyst, and crystal. Each rock is framed with gold mounting. He's serving a look to serve God. Thousands of years later, in Harlem, Los Angeles, in Atlanta, breaking through multiple systems of oppression, members of the houses of Avalon, Davenport, Extravaganza, and others dress like royalty, kings and queens of drag. The real-life queen, Trixie Mattel, enters the stage with mile-high hair, 6-inch lashes, bright pink lipstick, and a sequin gown. Simone sports gorgeous, tight braids, a beaded breastplate and matching bottoms. Divine showcases a tight red dress with tulle fishtail, gigantic dangling earrings, and a handgun. It's giving magnificence. It's giving fearless power. Do you see it? Do you feel the priesthood and drag and ballroom culture operate in parallel modes? An individual puts on lavish clothing to step into a role of epic proportions. In that outfit, they embody a larger-than-life experience. Priest and drag artists elevate themselves to a realm of vivacity, majesty, and wonder. As other people bear witness to these encounters with divinity, they are also uplifted and inspired by the spectacle. God prescribes the priests, or the Israelites, to make clothes likadsho likahono li, to consecrate the priests for service to God. Why does this week's Torah portion include such specific instructions and elaborate styles? Donning these clothes facilitates a transformation. The high priest wears a fringed tunic whose hem was covered in pomegranate and bells. He puts on a cape with shoulder pads and a golden breastplate. Suddenly, he steps from our mundane world into a sublime plane. The outfit alters his sense of self, readying him for the transcendent experience of God. By taking on a particular dress, he links himself with an almighty force beyond himself. This attire represents a performance of divine encounter. Coming before the community, the priest projects how to elevate oneself toward grandeur and reverence for God, a higher power, the source of all life. Drag performers also put on a costume to step into a godly consciousness. A drag king puts on a goatee and blazer, and he embraces a fearless, epic presence. A drag queen paints her face and puts on 10-inch heels, and she conveys a towering, defiant confidence. Like the priest, The drag queens have clothing that allows them to enter a domain that surpasses ordinary humanity. They uncover a tremendous reverent force. Although the priests' clothes ready the Levites to link with an external force, drag prepares the artist to draw this mighty power from within them. As a master's student at the Union Theological Seminary, David Patino wrote about ballroom performers: to survive in a sexist and racist world, to keep their integrity intact through authenticity, they have created their own rituals and traditions to connect to their own divinity. Despite the limits that society places on LGBTQ people, these artists put on clothes and they gain access to a place beyond bounds. They internalize and display what it means to exist in its proximity. The performance ushers them from the place of narrowness to transcendent liberation. And for this reason, drag balls proved important sites of affirmation, particularly for queer and trans people of color during the height of the AIDS epidemic. As one Detroit performer, Diva D of the House of Bulgari, described, if your family don't care about you because you are gay and whatnot, or if you can't find a job, the ballroom scene helps you start anew. It creates a brand new identity that you feel comfortable with. And when one breaks down all the scripts of what one should be, all that remains is the question of self-definition. For the artists and their audiences, drag performances reveal that a mighty, redemptive identity remains dormant inside us. The bold outfits prepare marginalized people to usher a unique, unapologetic force, a force that is true to themselves, to come into the world. Now, not every Israelite can serve as a priest, and not every LGBTQ person needs or can be a drag artist. The priesthood was an over-the-top production that empowered everyone to think about existence within divine providence. So too, drag performance offers opportunities for all onlookers to contemplate what it means to be. The priestly clothes not only displayed the relationship between the priest and a powerful God, but also allowed the Israelites to read themselves into the performance. The breastplate contained those 12 stones of sapphire, emerald, etc. And inscribed on those stones was the names of the tribes of Israel. When the breastpiece laid across the priest's chest, these inscriptions quite literally placed the nation between the priest's heart and God. The shoulder plates also contained the names of the tribes, and the headdress represented the people's sins weighing on the priest's mind as he pleaded collective forgiveness. When the Israelites saw a Levite passing them and carrying them on his chest, shoulders, and head, they perceived that his service functioned on their behalf. While the outfit alleviates the pressure on the Israelites to appear directly before God, it simultaneously enables them to place themselves into the divine human interaction. The priest showcases the magnificence of encountering God. And for those who saw themselves embedded in his garments, the priest, through his performance, uplifts each Israelite to examine their role in the relationship as well. Through this display, he raises the question, how do I approach this level of majesty? Although drag queens do not display the names of our tribes across their chest, we can read our LGBTQ experiences into their subversion of gender and power. They enact the unafraid, kick the closet door down manifestation of queerness. And when LGBTQ and straight people yearn for courage to bring our authentic essence into the world, we can view drag and understand that an undeterred form of self-expression remains possible. Like the ancient Israelite priests, drag artists are the elite performers among us whose spectacle elevates our experiences. They embolden all of us to refuse marginalization and declare agency over our identity, albeit perhaps in less ostentatious ways. By watching and reading ourselves into drag, we gain the fortitude to unveil the unique qualities for which God created us into being. By reading ourselves into drag, we find our own connection to divinity. In this manner, drag cultivates holiness. We live in a time when politicians and pundits want to demonize and outlaw drag. Just today, it was banned in public spaces in the state of Tennessee. In this regard, we also take a lesson from ancient Israel. The Levites possessed no land of their own. Each tribe made efforts to provide them refuge and sustenance. In gratitude for how the Levites' work uplifted the spirit of the entire community, the nation secured the priest's ability to conduct their work, live, and thrive. It goes beyond tipping our queens. It is upon us to savor their spiritual service and ensure they have what they need to raise our communities on their shoulders. Existing with God and finding an authentic expression of ourselves are intertwined endeavors. We recognize that without audacious drag, we lose an essential source to render our lives colorful, exquisite, and holy. Much as they carry and inspire us, we shall celebrate, respect, prop up, and protect our sacred leaders. Shabbat Shalom.
The category is love. That's the only thing I really got from Pose. Thank you, Adam. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. Now we move on to other things that are upon us with Elenu on page 140. Please rise in body or spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שברא אותנו בצלמו, ונפח בנו את נשמת חיינו, שהעמיק אותנו בלימוד תורתו, וקידשנו במצוותיה, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושבי קרוב בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגופי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין
You may be seated. We turn to Mourner's Kaddish on page 150, where we pause, as we do in every service, to remember those whose lives have come before us, who we love and lost. And this Shabbat, the entire CBST community is mourning the loss of longtime CBST beloved member Bill Rosenblum, who died on February 2nd. March 2nd. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. March 2nd. I know just from reading folks' responses to hearing about Bill's death that he was an extremely beloved member of our community, and I encourage folks to keep sharing and keep talking about him, which is the way that we keep his memory alive. And I know that there are folks in our community who have signed up to say Kaddish for him, to become his Kaddish souls. And I just want to say that that actually happens after the burial, so you won't start this evening. But if you are taking on the practice of saying Kaddish for any amount of time for Bill, that will start after the burial. We also extend our condolences to the mourners among us in the CBST community, CBST member Casey Cassis on the death of their grandmother Dolores Vandenberg, Zichrona Livracha, who died on February 27th, and also to CBST member Meryl Meisler, who on the death of her beloved brother Mitchell Ross Meisler, Zichrona Livracha, who died on March 1st. And our hearts and our love are with both of you. CBST marks the yortzites of members Stephen Janofsky, Ariella Braverman, David L. Berger, Joseph Stonehouse, Stanley Moldavin, Sarah Fillingham, Peter Vogel, and Alan Fogel, as well as family and friends of members Anna Antonson, Joseph Weinberg, Herbert Goldstein, Edie Zickholtz, Abraham Lobel, Labe Stoll, Arthur Strickler, Shirley Gould, Ruth Sweet Malkin, Nat Toodleman, Sydney Abrahams, Brianna Taylor, Alexandra Abramson, Alan Fisher, Carol Siegel, Aaron Steinman, David Carey, Philip Katz, and Jean Kerman. If you are observing a yortzeit or are in mourning or it's your custom, please rise in body or spirit. Page 150. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chaychon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shnei Rabbah mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata ta'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. You may be seated. I'm delighted to invite up our president, Sabrina Farber, for some announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to CBST. So grateful for all of you who are joining us tonight from near and far, and of course, all of you on live stream as well to celebrate Shabbat in community. Here's where I was going to thank Ze'evi, so I'm going to remember not to do that, but we hope that they will be back very soon. So thank you to Baal Tefillah Cantor Sam Rosen, and many thanks to our music director, Joyce Rosenzweig, for the magic that you bring. That was an amazing, amazing Shalom Rav. Incredible. Thanks to Cooperberg-Rittmaster Rabbinical Intern Adam Graubart for your marvelous drasha. Really, really amazing. I kind of thought it might be about baseball, but I was happily surprised. It was incredible. Thanks also to Rabbi Yael Werber for your service leadership tonight. Thanks to our ushers, Sally and Gomez, and thanks to Sharon on chat and to Jason Zivick for all things tech. Join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the first Shabbat of the month service led by Rabbi Werber. This is a joyful, song-filled service with a text discussion rather than a Torah reading. I've heard great things about this service, and I urge you to check it out either in person or online. If you're going to be online, please download the study text beforehand, and Sharon will put that link in the chat, I know. And if you want to hear more about it, you can speak to Rabbi Werber, who was here, clearly, and also to Harold Levine, who has an early copy of what the booklet looks like. So no Torah, no siddur. It's very chill. Join us again at 7:30 on Zoom for Havdalah. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you who joined us last Monday for the town hall. Thanks especially to Harold Levine and to the listening task force, Ginny Hennenberg and Ora Ezrahi. And I know that Yael Bar-Chava would have been there, could she have made it. It was a really, really wonderful, wonderful opportunity to talk a little more about the transition. I wanted to let you know that many of you also answered the member survey and then signed up for the focus groups. So bula bula, congratulations for being so efficient. As a consequence, we are almost completely full. There are a few spaces still available, and if you're really enterprising and you check with Harold Levine tonight, he might be able to squeeze you in. And expect the follow-up email on Monday, Larry Finkelstein, with the complete with links to the town hall for those of you who may have missed it, and also to the application for the search committee. As I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, we have an amazing spring Lair House lineup, so do not get caught missing this. Classes like queer Jewish music, Jewish Star Trek, spiritual autobiography, and lots more. Link to register is in the e-news and also on the website. And it's finally here. Purim is Monday. Hooray! Okay, good, good, good. And as I've said before, we're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year, which means we're going to use the 70s as our theme for Purim this year. So, and I know you have these things in your closets, go haul out your go-go boots, your super wide collars, your platform shoes, and all that polyester that you bought, and join us. CBST festivities include a children's party that will start at 5 and go to 6:30. And for the rest of us, there'll be a musical ma'ariv, followed by the signature multilingual Megillah reading, and an all-ages costume parade. So I know for one, Rick Landman is going to be dressed up. I know that because every year it happens. It's the same thing, and it's fantastic. I want to see a lot of you there too, and in costume, no less. And I do want to tell you about a really special opportunity on Monday, March 13th at 7:30 p.m. at the Center for Jewish History. Our marvelous music director, Joyce Rosenzweig, and our former CBST cantor, David Berger, are presenting a recital celebrating their amazing new CD, Refuge, Art Songs by Jewish American refugee composers. Here's the real thing. The concert is free. However, you have to reserve a ticket. I tried to do this last time, and I reserved it too late, so there wasn't any room. So take my advice, go reserve it right away, so you can definitely get a spot. So Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Sabrina. Let me pull up my announcements, my Kaddish sponsorships. So Kiddush tonight's live stream is sponsored by Wendy Marks in loving remembrance of my parents, Elaine Miller Marks, Zichronam Livracha, and Alvin Bernard Marks, Zichrono Livracha, on their 18th and 15th yortzites, March 2nd and March 3rd, missing your wit, laughter, and Malamar cookies. It's also supported by Linda Solomon and Bonnie Siegel, remembering our beloved friend Bill Rosenbroom, Zichrono Livracha, always, who left us late Thursday evening. His memory will forever be a blessing to all who knew him. Tommy and Peter in honor of Bonnie Pollock on her bat mitzvah, 2/25/23, with love. Sherry and Debbie in memory of my Abba, Zichrono Livracha. Erev Purim will be 2 years. We miss you very much. Tonight's Oneg is sponsored by Anonymous, a tribute to the late Honorable Alan Fleischman, Zichrono Livracha, a very good friend. May his memory be a blessing. And Rick Fischel in honor of the first yortzeit of my aunt, Felice Ehrman, Zichrono Livracha. It's also supported by Stephen David Dim, who's with us here, is delighted to celebrate his 74th birthday with his CBST community this Shabbat. Happy birthday, Stephen. And the Moldovan Study Group in memory of our dear friend Stan Moldovan on his 5th yortzeit, wishing you were with us as we continue our quest for Jewish knowledge. Beautiful. So I feel this whole service has been a real mixture of davening together, praying for real peace, and also, thankfully, with Adam's drash, a lot of joy as well. So let's continue knitting our prayers together for peace with Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu on page 101.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam.
Page 156 for Kiddush. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Yom HaShishi, Vayichulu HaShemayim ve'aretz v'chol tzva'am, Vayichal Elohim, Vayom HaShvi'i, Melachto asher asa, Vayishbot bayom HaShvi'i, Mikol Melachto asher asa, Vayivarech Elohim et Yom HaShvi'i, Vayikadesh oto, Ki bo Shabbat Mikol Melachto asher bara Elohim lasot. Savri chaverai v'chavarotai v'chaim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit. Ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki banu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta im kol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'beratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Okay, so now I'm going to call on my sister. Liati, will you come and hold the challah with me? You're just going to hold it just like that, yes. And we're all going to touch it. We're all connected to you. Everyone's up there connected?
Yeah.
All right, great.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. I'm gonna get a tiny little. Shabbos.